What's going on? Why is it just me, fam? Where's Matisse? I'm exceptionally confused right now. But hey, you know what I'm saying? Since I'm on his channel, I might as well go with the lateness is greatness thing, you understand? Because man doesn't seem to know where my guy has gone. But ladies and gentlemen, Chelsea Football Club have secured that W. Do you understand? We've piped that 3-1. Our man is in the cup finally, fam. I was so confused right now. I didn't even know what to say, fam. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, man.
What has gone down? But he's literally shoved me on the whatever happens, fam. Oh my dude. Imagine. Man came
as you want to take my intro for your stream, I thought let me let you start my one.
Oh my dude, fam. I'm in tears. But listen, ladies and gentlemen, we've got the man in his house now. Do you understand? Man came late for his own stream. I came before him, fam. Imagine.
Lateness is greatness, people. Welcome back to the stream. Do you know what I'm saying? There's a literally, you know what I mean? Like I said in the title, catching flights, not feelings. Do you know what I mean? It's Luton Airport that we're playing against today, so we have to keep things down to a minimum. Yeah, I kicked myself out, and then I saw Tammy jump in. I was like, yo, let me just let this brother start. A few more things I need to get patterned with the intro as well. How was your what was your take on the game? Because obviously I'm going to get into my thoughts as well, but pretty routine win in the end, I guess. But there was a few moments of worry. I'm not going to lie, when we was 2-1 up and it didn't look like we was going to get the third. But some good performances in there today. Gilmour, I think Lampard's already pointed out Gilmour. Mason Mount wore the armband as well. Let's start with a bit of Mount propaganda, I think, because to wear the armband at 22 years old when you're
in the cup, you know what I'm saying? Out here, fam. Madness.
Do you know what I mean? Let's be real.
You know what I mean? Man was good today. Once again, to be 22 years old, taking the Chelsea armband. Oh, it was Luton Airport FC, blood. No. Nah, I know, fam. I know, innit? We know, fam. None of us are getting overly excited. Obviously, I'm not going to be sad when my team wins a game. Do you know what I mean? We can't do that. That's not how we run things at this institution. But at the end of the day, Mason Mount came into the play, was passing really well. He had the game under control from when he was playing. Do you understand? Because I mean, he seemed to be playing like a double pivot almost with Gilmour at times. So at the end of the day, the way Mason played today was quite inspirational for the rest of the team. I'm quite glad he got that. I'm a bit annoyed that he started, in the sense that I would like him to get a bit of rest, because the way Lampard uses him, you know when you squeeze all the water out of a sponge or your towel from until there's absolutely nothing left. That's what he's doing with Mason. But overall, you can't complain. We can't complain. Ace him out in the cup, fam.
I mean, do you know what? Yeah.
Is this my internet? Raw, I don't even know what's going on. Raw, man? Is this me, fam? Or is this Matisse? I don't know what's gone down, you know. It's Matisse. Oh my days, fam. Why is he doing this to me? I'm not in charge here, boss. But anyways, like, at the end of the day, like, you can't really complain with the way things are gone down. You know what I'm saying? Mickey Mouse is out the house, fam. Man took a trip to Luton Airport. Man is not in the cup no more, fam. Matisse got that McDonald's Wi-Fi thing, that KFC Wi-Fi thing.
They don't want me today. It's like
you're on KFC Wi-Fi. Are you on KFC Wi-Fi, fam? You know what I'm saying? McDonald's Wi-Fi.
I said the same to Jay when I jumped on his stream. Do you know what I mean? They really, the gods don't want me today, seriously. But it's on the madness. That's correct, Victor. It's on the ropes. Do you know what I mean? We've been pushing this island thing for a while. Now it's starting to get sticky icky. Do you know what I mean? But as I was saying to Hajir in the chat, I was on his stream before the game. I did a little preview, and I said to him, Tammy's going to bag 2 goals, and then he ends up getting a hat trick. But do you know what I mean? I don't know. I felt like Tammy was going to get some goals today. Do you know what I mean? I felt like he was going to do it. But on Mason Mount, I feel like he kind of had to start. I know usually in good form we would have rested him, but because he's really been the only player that he really gives a shit, kind of got to start him. Do you know what I mean? Just again, he's the person that's going to maybe set the tone for the rest of the team to perform at this point. And he's obviously playing above his years as well. So I wasn't really surprised that he got the armband. I wasn't really surprised that he started. Do you know what I mean? Things like that, where it's just like, again, he kind of had to play, and he played well. Gilmour, I thought, was brilliant. And it kind of just showed as well, Gilmour, why has he not been playing? Why has he not been playing the games previously, Gilmour? You know, Kante's been out for a bit, and Gilmour still doesn't seem to get the game time. We just look like we play the game at a higher tempo. We look a lot more, you know, progressive. We just look better with Gilmour on the pitch. I think in terms of the way that every time he plays, he does perform. In my opinion, it's very rare that he doesn't.
Would you say he should be starting the next game though? Would you think he should keep
Gilmour,
on starting right now?
Gilmour, I would have said should have started against Fulham. Leicester would have been a tricky one for him because Leicester obviously a very good team. We saw the midfield they came up against us with Ndidi, Maddison, Telemans. So that's a big ask maybe for Gilmour, but should have started against Fulham, and I would definitely probably start him against Wolves. Yeah, I mean, there's no reason why not. It's not. The thing is that I know he's young, I know he looks fragile, but the team just seems to play better, and the attackers play a lot better when he's on the pitch. His passing is just he just passes at a quicker pace. Do you know what I mean? Potentially man in the match. I don't know who they've given it to. But yeah, we just look a better team. And like I said, at this point, there's been some players that you can say, are they really playing for Frank? In this tough spell. Gilmour's one of those players who's probably going to play for him. He's going to run through the trenches for him as well. So I personally don't get why Gilmour hasn't been getting some game time in the last couple of Premier League games. And I would definitely start him against Wolves 100%. What did you make of Kepa's mistake? Because that was unfortunate. It's getting a little bit sad now, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? Like that was just horrendous. Do you know what I mean? It just
blood clots, bomber clat, fam. That is, the thing is, a lot of people are going to drag me for this one. I'm going to say, but we need to cut him that much slack, a little bit of slack. Do you know why I say that? Because so when we all saw that thing, it all happened really quickly. We all saw what happened, and Kepa had obviously messed up. No doubt he messed up. Zuma, on the other hand, had a mare, fam. Because Zuma, instead of him to actually try and block off the ball or prevent it from coming in, my guy was literally standing there and the ball went straight past him. He didn't try and kick it off. He didn't try anything, fam. He didn't try any of those things in any way, shape, or form. So, and he was also in Kepa's line of sight. Now, these are not excuses for Kepa. You might know my agenda against Kepa is mighty. You know what I mean? I only run agendas against Kepa, Rudiger, and Alonso, fam. And you know my Kepa agenda is mighty, fam. I've dragged him through the mud more times than I was going to make a bad reference there, but let's not do that. But at the end of the day, Kepa definitely should have saved that. But Zuma, he can't go scot-free for that because he could have made things a lot better, 100%.
And there's been times before as well where Zuma and Kepa together have combined to make a pretty poor goal. I remember when Zuma back passed it to Kepa, and it wasn't, I don't know if there was, I can't remember what game it was, but there wasn't a lot of weight on the pass, and it fell a bit short, and then it put Kepa in trouble, and then it's just a calamity of errors. So the kit is beautiful. The kit is beautiful, 100% polar bear.
I think I've got one.
Just a little bit of memories for the good times. You see what I'm saying? Just
I remember this kit.
Beautiful.
Honestly, I don't put my government name on YouTube.
When the times get tough, this is what I go back to. Do you know what I mean? It's not easy in these streets. Do you know what I mean? But he keeps me sane.
You know what I'm saying? Number 11 as well in the cut. You know what I mean? We're out here, bro. But yeah.
Usually the kit that's up there has some sort of relevance to the game, but I was like, I need this right now because
that's relevant because we've got Didier Abraham in the cut. You know what I'm saying?
Didier
Abraham in the cut. Do you know what I mean? You've got my guy with the hat-trick team. These man missed a lot of chances today, which is once again a bit frustrating. But man got the hat-trick. You know what I'm saying? He got that hat-trick in the bag. Can't complain. I thought it was the perfect hat-trick, but it was actually 2 right foot and the header. When he scored that header, you know the statistic against Bradford, I was like, Tammy Abraham scoring a freaking header. Is that what we're on? Yeah, is that what we're on? I was thinking bad luck is in the cards. You know what I mean? But man managed to run it around. You know what I'm saying?
It's good performance from him. If anything, that justifies his start against Wolves, I'd say. I said when Drew got his 4 goals against Sevilla as well that he justified the start in the next game. So, like I said, I wouldn't say anybody's the perfect striker right now, but when he's playing well, you've got to give him his credit and make sure maybe that he starts the next game. But again, when we speak about a game like this, it's all in the context of the fact that we was playing Luton. I know there are positives, of course. We've spoken about them with Gilmour, Mount, obviously wearing the armband, Abraham getting the hat-trick. We're going to get onto a few other players as well. But it is Luton. And again, this is the same thing that happened against Morecambe. Played a great game, and then the game after, do you know what I mean? It didn't kick on to anything. So for me, I'll judge this game of how good it was. I will rate this game out of 10 maybe in a week's time when we've played Wolves and we've played Burnley. And then when we've played those 2 games, we'll see just how good this game was. Exactly, 100%. Because this game acts as a lovely friendly training session to get ourselves to the next round of the FA Cup if they actually step up their performance against Wolves and actually kick on, which is what I want to see. In terms of Timo Werner, look, it's what everybody wants to talk about, right? Because I've been very, very critical of him in recent months because I just felt like he hasn't even been doing the basics correctly and that he shouldn't have been starting. He didn't warrant the starts. But today, I do feel some sympathy for him. I'm not going to dig him out because, you know, he got the assist. For me, he was looking a lot more dangerous higher up the pitch next to Tammy. Does usually seem to play better when Tammy's on the pitch as well. And I just, at this point, with that penalty miss, it's just getting sad, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? Brother can't buy a goal at this point. Got the goal obviously against Morecambe. Wasn't the penalty wasn't right in the corner. It wasn't the most powerful, but it's just a shame that he couldn't convert it because his confidence just seems like, do you know what I mean?
Because today he played so well. Do you know what I mean? Like when we all saw the starting 11, we thought it was going to be like a 4-4-2. Do you know what I mean? It ended up being like a 4-2-3-1 with Werner playing slightly as like a number 10 almost or something. Like, I was like bomber clap. Do you know what I mean? I saw that, but it kind of like when I think about it, one thing that Tammy does very well that Giroud doesn't. Giroud is very good at hold up play. Do you understand? They can bully the other defenders, but Tammy's movement really draws out those centre backs. He draws those defenders with him, and it creates enough space for Werner to operate and move in and about his team. Do you understand? So one of those things where, you know what, when we got that assist, I was quite happy for Werner. And the thing is, he wasn't bad today. He was actually really good. That penalty miss, I mean, it's a shame that the penalty miss is going to cover up all the stuff that he's pretty much done today, but you can't really complain with his performance today. He was actually quite impressive. I'm happy with how it went down, but it's just a shame, fam, that he missed that penalty. And the worst part is he won it as well. Do you know what I mean? So it was fully deserved, and it was one of those things where imagine if he had converted that penalty. Converting that penalty could have taken his confidence to the next level. And but now, that's all that's done for him is brought it down. Which is
I said before the game, I didn't see this game as decisive for me in terms of, you know, him starting against Wolves. I probably still wouldn't start him against Wolves now that I think about it, because you've got Abraham, Hudson-Odoi, and then probably Ziyech, who created a lot of chances today as well. Was pretty good. Or you could go Hudson-Odoi, Timo Werner, and Tammy if Timo Werner is going to play closer to the striker. But I think Tammy and Hudson-Odoi definitely deserve to start. So then you're picking out of the rest of them. Pulisic, I definitely don't think will start. He seemed to pick up a knock. He wasn't great today, and then on top of that, he picks up a knock as well. We know how much we have to protect him. But I just think because Timo was, do you know what it is with Timo? Not only was he better today, but I have to credit to him. Two things I've never doubted with him is his mentality and the fact that he does try. You know, he doesn't down tools. He doesn't stop relentlessly trying to go. He doesn't run away from trying to get the chances. And he does put a shift in. And on top of that, his mentality. This is why the Morata comparison is one thing that it doesn't run with me, because I don't think his mentality is leaps and bounds above Morata. It's just the fact of.
Sorry, I'm seeing Timo slander comments.
No, ignore it. Because one thing I'm clocking in my chat is that there's a lot of rival fans. I've done a lot of weekly shows now, and I'm gonna have another one starting on Tuesday called Battle of the North. If you guys know Saeed. If you guys know Big Steve and Grizz, obviously from the Big Six show as well, we're going to do a Battle of the North show on Tuesday night, 10 p.m. So that's my final weekly show with the new intro and all that kind of flashy stuff. So there's a lot of rival fans in the chat, and you just have to just let them do their thing. Do you know what I mean? It's all,
let them run their agenda.
It's what it is. Hudson-Odoi came on, looked good, created some chances. Do you know what I mean?
It's becoming a recurring theme that is setting Frank Lampard. Whenever his team starts misbehaving, he needs to call on a certain star boy, a certain Callum Hudson-Odoi, a certain hyphenated name. And my guy came in and gave Tammy Abraham the thing. And I'm not surprised. This man he leaps and bounds clear of most of his peers. You understand? A lot of people seem to be forgetting that these days because he doesn't seem to be playing as often. Pulisic, I think Pulisic is going to be out. I'm expecting Callum to start. You understand? Callum is going to start against Wolves. He needs to start against Wolves. I mean, but even before I even get too much into Callum, did you see how angry Ziyech was when he came off?
No, I didn't actually. What was the beef?
He was angry from when he came off. I didn't know what that was all about. He didn't look happy. You know them ones where you're playing football in a 6-4 minute, or not even 6-4 in year 8, and then your team coach tells you to come off and you start pissing and getting angry. That's exactly what Ziyech looked like. So I'm like, yo, I don't know what that's all about. But hey, my star boy came, he performed as per usual, and he bounced. My guy keeps on starting. You know them ones where you just keep on. It's like money in the bank. Man has his money in the bank briefcase ready to cash in at any time. From man, he's got like.
Because you know what it was, what was frustrating for me. People wanted to get onto him immediately when he didn't perform against Leicester, and I said to myself, "This is a young kid who's been, getting cameo appearances for a month now.
Yeah.
Well, just because he doesn't play one game very well where he starts against a very good Leicester team doesn't mean he should come out the team. Give him a run of games. Give him 4 or 5 games in a row like everybody else has got. And then if he doesn't perform, fair enough, maybe he needs to be a super sub. But for people to be coming for him immediately after the first start, I think is a little bit wrong, because we've seen others that play in the attacking areas get a run of games. So I think he deserves a run of games. Do you know what I mean? I think his form merits that. Definitely some rivals in the chat with some of the shit that I'm seeing in there. You man have taken over today, hey? Man's talking about B-Tech, Buendia and whatnot. You're talking the most crunch, huh? Some people are on a madness in the chat, but obviously rivals have taken over. They don't want to hold smoke against the Luton Airport mandem. So look, it is what it is. Do you know what I mean? I think this game, like I said, it will hold more value after the week is over if I see improvements against Wolves. I don't want to see the performance against Fulham that I saw against Wolves. I don't want to see the performance against Leicester against Burnley. So improvements need to be made there. Also, what's been running around the timeline, obviously, recently is Mason Mount, captain, in terms of taking the captaincy now. Do you know what I mean? Now, I remember when I put forward a little Thiago Silva back in the day, but man, them didn't want to hear that. Mason Mount, they're saying that he should be captain now. And obviously in the chat, I want you guys to respond to this as well. Let me know if Mason Mount should be captain. Just type it out there. But people are saying that he should be captain now. I think that's a bit too early. Maybe vice captain, you've got a shout there, because obviously Jorginho's not very heavily involved. Thiago Silva's still, for me, more experienced. I think it's a bit too early. Maybe third choice. I don't think there's any need to rush it, because I was told, and many people will say, you don't need the armband to lead. Mason Mount, he can lead 100%. Without the armband. It's not
Chelsea them lot. You know what I mean? Drogba didn't need it. Lampard didn't need it. These man didn't need it back then, innit? I know there were a lot more leaders in the squad that time, and John Terra was obviously the top dog, but the player of Mason Mount, I mean, once again, I don't want to use that age thing per se. I don't really want to do that, but Thiago Silva as well is still in the court. Aspilicueta is still in the court. I can't really see Lampard stripping off the armband from them lot when those two are on the pitch. Maybe if none of them are on the pitch, you can have a shout for Mason Mount being captain or something like that. But you've got Aspi, you've got Thiago playing on the thing. What's that about? You've got Aspi playing on the thing, and then I don't even know what that's about, to be fair.
But you can't imagine £2 donation. I'm very confused though, because it's come from Polar Bear. These brothers are hilarious. I'm starting to see there's a chemistry building. There's probably more chemistry in the live chat than there is with the Chelsea team in the Premier League.
Oh, well, you get what I'm saying, innit? You get what I mean? Because that's the way I see the situation right now. It's one of those things where at the end of the day, as much as I rate Mason Mount, you know how much I rate Mason Mount, innit? But I just feel like he should. If Thiago Silva is playing, if Aspilicueta is playing, he shouldn't be captain. Maybe vice captain or something. And if none of them are playing, then, which is highly unlikely, because I see Thiago Silva start to win more of our games. But he did a good thing against Luton Airport. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Do you know what it is with Mason Mount as well? Is that it's not about age. It's about the fact that he's only in his second year as well for me in the squad. So there's no need to push it too much. Do you know what I mean? Let him naturally get it, because Aspi's not going to be here forever, and he's certainly not going to be even playing many minutes. I think his minutes are going to continue to go down. Reece James kind of naturally took that off of him as well, that spot. So I think Mason will naturally take it, or naturally take more leadership, naturally maybe get vice captain in the future, or etc. But it's a bit too early to call for me, in my opinion, and it's also not really necessary. Someone said Jorginho is just vice captain for the vibes. I think Jorginho is actually well liked in that dressing room, to be honest. I think from what I hear, he's quite well liked. But obviously, when it comes to on the pitch, his leadership's not going to maybe be as substantial if he's not playing the minutes as well. And he's also, for me, you've got to be a very, very consistent performer in training and on the pitch now to be captain. That's crucial for me in captaincy. So it's going to be interesting to see who takes it in the future. There's obviously other shouts, Reece James, but what I like today is that I think Mason Mount got it on the fact that he was playing well recently. It was kind of like a reward. And I think that's right. Do you know what I mean? That's fair. I think he deserved that. The last couple of games in the Premier League, we've been shambolic, but you wouldn't be able to say Mason has been poor. He's been putting in the work. So I think it was a nice reward for him today to get the captaincy. It will mean a lot to him, being at the club since age 6, 22 years old now, I think. And obviously, is he 22 already?
22, yeah. He just turned 22, innit?
Oh, they grow up so fast, don't they?
Madness. Man was 21, like what, 20 last year or something like that. You playing for Chelsea? It's ridiculous. Like
it's nuts, fam. They grow up so quick. But what one thing I have to continue, keeping up with the Cobhams, ladies and gentlemen. That is the key thing from this game. They are keeping things ticking. You know, your Mason Mounts, your Tammy Abrahams, Hudson-Odoi, Billy Gilmour. I know he's from Rangers, but we still claim him, and we will continue to do so. So these, like I said, when I was on the stream with League Gunner, was it? No, who was that? No, it was Rance and Joel. And I think we were speaking about Hell End and the fact that Arsenal's youngsters in Smith Rowe and Saka seem to be, you know, really carrying that team and really taking responsibility. Very similar has happened at Chelsea, where when times are tough, it is the academy graduates who are standing up and really taking ownership. And again, like I said, I think that just goes to show not only the quality, because we know Cobham's got quality. We sent Arsenal and Nketiah, we sent Liverpool, Solanke and whatnot. You know what I mean? We always have something spare for everyone. So Tomori's going out to do a Maldini and AC Milan. We've got Jeremy Boga's out here doing stuff in Italy as well. But also Lamptey at Brighton. So we've got loads of players dotted around. Maddison, by the way, we're going to speak about Maddison very soon because Emerson's performance was interesting today, and a lot of people criticise Chilwell. But we got special ability in this academy, but very
100%.
very special mentality as well. That's the key.
100%.
Do you know what I mean? The mentality is a different level. I spoke about it when Tammy Abraham was going through racial abuse after the Liverpool Super Cup game, I think, where he missed the penalty. Was it Liverpool? I believe it was. And he got a lot of abuse online. Yeah. I said at the time, I'm not worried about Tammy. I think he's going to be able to get through it. His mentality is good. And Lord and behold, he became top scorer. Mason Mount definitely has got a lot of criticism online. I haven't really worried. His mentality is A1 for me. Reece James, he was going through a period where people were saying that he was too big, too clunky, even though we had Ivanovic, you know, he was quite a stocky right back, but people seem to have forgotten. He was getting a lot of criticism at the back end of last season when Lamptey was on form. Reece James at the end of lockdown was quite poor. People were giving him a lot of stick. Again, mentality A1. Gilmour, mentality A1. Hudson-Odoi, same. So again, you know, these guys, their mentalities are top notch. And that's what you have to give respect to Neil Bath and everybody from the academy for bringing through these youngsters, because it's all good having the ability, but when times are tough, if you can get through periods like this and stand up and be counted for, that is very, very impressive.
Exactly. So.
Do you know what I mean? Let's go through this. No excuses, Frank. Got to start Billy Gilmour. Yeah, Dammy. Do you know what I mean? How serious are you on this one? Because I'm quite a serious brother at this point. Do you know what I mean? Like I've been saying for weeks, we need points on the board. Everybody knows my stance, but regardless of my stance, I want us to win games. And you know, I want Frank Lampard to turn it around. If he's gonna be given the time by the board, then I want him to turn it around and I want him to win games. I need this team to be playing better because I am a content creator that thrives off of entertaining. I don't thrive off, exactly. Do you know what I mean? I don't really make my bread and milk from rants, from ranting and from shouting and like people don't come to me to be really see me angry, and I don't really come here to be angry either. So regardless of what I think we should be doing from a managerial standpoint, he needs to turn it around if he's going to be staying here. Because as I've always said, we need top four, we need FA Cup, in my opinion. And then at the end of the season, you can come to conclusions and whatnot. But the board seem to want to get to the end of the season as well for their managerial target. So it's in everybody's best interest for us to turn it around and for us to win 100%. Games. But 100%. In saying that, brother, how serious are we about Billy? Because Billy needs to start against Wolves. Are we not? Are we not on that one right now? I'm on it.
I think the thing is, like when we look at the options we actually have, you know, N'Golo Kante is currently out injured. I don't think he's going to get in contention for that game against Wolves. Jorginho, I don't think I'm trying to see Jorginho against that midfield of Wolves. Do you understand? Kovacic is not going to hold the midfield for you at all in any way, shape, or form. They are dragging you from the big six. Oh, Lord Jesus. I just saw that comment. But yeah, at the end of the day, like for me, once again, Billy Gilmour needs to start playing because but it's one of them ones where I know he played against Luton, but he still proves to be tough as nails. He's always trying to get the ball. He's always trying to get involved. He's always trying to stick it in. So I can tell that there's something there. And I think he's done quite a bit for him to warrant a start against Wolverhampton. He's struggling with Wolverhampton side now. I know Chelsea's Robin Hood FC. Do you know what I mean? Robin Hood FC steal from ourselves and give to the poor FC. I know that's what Chelsea are, reincarnation FC. I know that's how Chelsea operate. But at the end of the day, Billy Gilmour has done quite enough for us to actually give him that opportunity to start. I know he's like 5'5" or 5'2" or whatever. He's very small and tiny, and he might be easily bullied over. I mean, that's why I didn't want him starting against Leicester. Do you know what I mean? And now I put out the propaganda because I saw what he could do in the match before. But once again, against Wolves, I don't really want to see a Jorginho. You know what I mean? I don't want to see another Kovacic GM thing. If I see that again, then I know we've lost the plot. I fully lost the plot with that one. Kante is definitely not going to be in contention for that game. So why not start Billy Gilmour? We have nothing to lose. He's the original boy for me. Even before everybody got on that wave, I was tweeting about Billy Gilmour with my 15 followers. You understand? So let's actually get him in the cup because man is actually a baller. And today he showed that he can play football. Not like we didn't know, but I think it should be him, King Kai, and probably Mason Mount against Wolves. I can't really think of anything else. Oh, would you agree? Disagree? Because I know Kai Havertz didn't really get that.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure who slots in next to Mount and Gilmour because Kai is a difficult one at the moment. He's not exactly being brilliant. And we are in the trenches. And Kai, for me, doesn't seem like a player that you take to the trenches at this point. But I probably will end up agreeing with you because there's not many options. Kovacic hasn't been good recently. So for me, people say, you know, Gilmour's young, give him time. The players that are playing well are the young ones. The players that are standing up to be counted for are the young ones. It's not really, for me, even an age thing. It's about mentality and leadership and who's got the balls to actually stand up and start playing football when the pressure comes under. And right now, it's a lot of the young players. So I don't really care how old he is, brother. As long as he's legally eligible, I don't care. Do you know what I mean? Because he's got leadership skills. He's got bravery 100%. On the ball. He's a progressive passer who will pass it with speed through the lines as well. And that potentially can keep, if you're starting Kai, him higher up the pitch where I want him. And the team play better when he's on the pitch. And for me, most of the time, 80% of the time when he plays, apart from a few games, maybe Leicester last season when he played in the 8, he wasn't great. Most games he plays well. So for me, I don't see why not to play him. Like, what more have we got to lose? We're not on a good run. We're not playing well. We've tried the more experienced players. Just play Billy. Billy is going to give 110%, and Billy has quality. He's got both of the things that I'm looking for in a treacherous run. So there's nothing really more to it, in my opinion. I think some people, you know, Itis Merchant says there, Gilmour and James pivot.
I mean, I'm not trying to see Reece James on that thing because, I mean, one thing I have to give credit to today as well, we didn't just do the whole loft thing. We didn't just do the whole stupid cross thing throughout the entire game. That's one thing I need to give credit for. I know he did put in quite a few crosses at the end of the day, but it wasn't just strictly that. We tried to do vertical passes in between the lines as well. And Reece James crosses. One thing I must say, the crosses did have intent. But I'm not trying to see Aspi trying to link up with Ziyech on that right-hand side. You know what I mean? I don't want us to start putting Reece James on that thing because we lose more. I mean, Reece James, I'm not saying Reece James can't play in that position because he can. He's that very exactly. He did it against Wigan. I mean, he did it for Wigan and he was quite good at it. He was taking shots and all of that, getting into good positions. But what we lose from not playing them at right back is my core issue. So I just don't want to see that. I can hear that shout, but I wouldn't give it to him, to be honest.
I mean, even at right back, he can be inverted at times if Ziyech is out wide 1v1. He can come in, so you can still see him take up similar positions that you get if he was to go forward in the pivot. But for me, like you said, his crossing is just too good. For us, we can't afford to lose that outlet. If anything, we need more attacking outlets. We don't need less. And also that means you're moving Mount to the 10. And again, I don't really want him in the 10. I do like him deeper. I think he struck up what I was most excited to see today was how Gilmour and Mount would play together, and I thought they played very well. So that is something that I liked. And I felt like that could have even been tried against Fulham last weekend when we didn't play Gilmour. But
exactly, those are the games that we find that.
Do you know what it is with this game? Is we could have scored more goals.
Yeah,
it continues to happen time and time again, right? We just continue, and it is so predictable, and it works. So why the hell it doesn't get capitalized on, I don't know. Ziyech, Mason Mount, and Reece James were the 3 players that were putting those balls across the box. Reece James countless times. Ziyech as well from I think from a short corner, they did it on the left-hand side. The ball always gets whipped in, right? And it is every single time. Tap-ins are like if an Erling Haaland or Raheem Sterling in Pep's prime, do you know what I mean? All these brothers, if our attackers had their type of like nous, they would be tapping in goals for fun because the ball is always coming across the box and it's always like, oh, that brother just didn't quite get there. That brother just didn't quite get there. Or every single, it is relentless, man. Reece James is getting robbed. I know he got an assist, but he's getting robbed. The amount of times that ball goes across the box on the floor, it's not even difficult. It's not like they're whipping it in the air at speed and it's difficult to control or get the trajectory right. It is literally ball across the box on the ground. Anybody at back post, tap it in, done. And it's always just one person at the near post, nobody at the back post, or someone's coming in late at the back post. It is the most frustrating thing ever. Honest to God, it's so frustrating. And this is why when we're talking about cross and insular, I don't even criticize the cross and insular too much because it can work if the brothers in the box. If there's numbers in the box, yeah, I don't criticize it too much because maybe it's not the most attractive football to watch, but it can be productive and it can work. And if you get the ball into the box, brothers, there just needs to be numbers in the box and they need to read Reece James better and understand how he's going to put the ball in because it is very much the same every time. There's nobody at the back post. Nobody. The opposite winger for Liverpool would always be at the back post every single damn time. You know, their wingers will end up tucking. If a Trent or whoever, their wingers will tuck in and make sure there's numbers in the box. We seem to be hovering in like outside the box, you know, or on the wing. I'm just like, bro, get in the box. If Lampard was playing,
he would be in the box, wouldn't he? Yeah, fam. Lampard Ballack type combination. Do you know what I'm saying? Them ones used to always get into the box with those late runs. Do you know what I'm saying? Come with those late runs and try and get those crosses on the other end of the pitch. Because, for example, look at Tammy. There's that one that he missed. That man was like, blood clot, fam. Is that
Tammy
you?
Tammy could add more goals.
Man missed, and I was like, yikes. Do you know what I mean? I was so confused. I didn't know what man was doing with that one at the end of the day. But once again, we need to fix that up. We need to fix up that because we can't keep on taking. I keep saying this, and we'll see against Atletico Madrid. I have absolutely no doubt in my mind. Atletico Madrid, you're not going to get as many chances as this. And if we can't improve our conversion rate, if you can't improve the conversion rate, we're not going to last too long. And I know people are going to tell me that, okay, at the end of the day, the team used to play a bit more consistently to be able to get in the correct positions and every time and get used to blah, blah, blah. I hear that, but we need to do it sooner rather than later. We still need those results. And one thing I want to speak to you about Matisse that a lot of people gave me slack for, you actually dared me as to why I deleted the tweet. Because at the end of the day, for me, personally, after Luton scored that free goal, we went from like 6th gear to like 4th or 5th in it. We didn't look as confident as we did from the start of the game because we started the game quite well. We got into our stride very quickly. But as soon as they scored that goal, stuff sort of went to crap because it didn't because we still played quite well in that period. But I just feel like they were lacking that thing within them. It almost felt like the only reason why they stayed in gear was because they know Luton is lower league opposition with absolutely no disrespect to them. But I felt like it happened against
keep creating unlimited amounts of chances.
Exactly. And I felt like because it was like a bigger game or something along those lines, then we would have probably just ended up losing the game. Maybe not losing the game because that's a bit wild. But I just feel like the way we operated for that 10 minutes before the halftime ended was not up to the level that we started the game at. Or what do you think? That mentality thing is still an issue. And even with that, another thing I want to call out. In fact, you know what? Go first. I have something to say.
Do you know what it is for me? Yeah, there was a bit of. I wouldn't even say it was a drop off. I just thought Luton changed their system at one point in that first half, and they started to play better football. And they actually did. To be fair to them, they did actually try and play out from the back a few times, and they actually did look decent at it. So fair play to Luton Town. I know I've been calling you Luton Airport because I use that airport quite frequently, but credit where it's due. You man did actually put up a good fight. You played pretty well. Their form in Championship has been up and down. I think it's 2 wins from the last 5 or something like that. So it's been all right. They're a mid-table team though. But anyway, for me, like I said, it's less about dropping off. It's more about being clinical because you only make the game as easy as you make it with your finishing, right? And if you continue to, and this game is quite an obvious example because again, I know we won 3-1 and on the surface, like we was quite clinical, but you can go through a lot of opportunities that were missed that could have made it 6-1. And a more clinical Chelsea and a more potent Chelsea make this game a 6-1. Do you know what I mean? Those balls that go across the box, they're big chances. I don't care if no one touches them. They're massive chances and they're chances that should be getting put away. So, you know, this is the thing, is that it's okay to do it against Luton, but then when you come up against better teams and you can't create this volume of chances, but you're still having the same conversion rate, that's where things go to shit. So they need to be a lot more clinical because a lot of big chances were created and not taken. And like I said, it's very frustrating when the ball just continues to get flashed across the box and no one's touched. It's just tap-ins. That's all it is. It's literally just, if you get there, you've got a tap-in, you've got an easy goal. And that's an opportunity now for you to stat pad, we talk about confidence levels in some of the forwards like Timo Werner, etc. The confidence levels will go up if you get the goals, whether they're tap-ins or not. And you look at like an Erling Haaland, brother would just be, he'd be feasting. Do you know what I mean?
He'd be eating so Gucci, fam. Do you know what I mean? He'd be eating so Gucci the way we're doing it. So, because it's not like I keep on like. The thing is, yeah, Matisse, like one thing that we've been doing consistent, even when we were on that 17 match unbeaten run, is that all these flaws, they are still very much there and they're still very worrying. That period from the 20th of February to the 20th, not even 20th, 17th of February to the 20th of March is going to be really critical because Everton, them, man, they're not going to give you too many chances. Don Carlo is going to give you chances. Mourinho is not going to give you chances. Hassan is not going to, I mean, maybe Southampton, but at the end of the day, Atletico Madrid especially, those are the big teams where you're not going to get 30 or 40 chances in the game because that's what Chelsea have been doing so far. A lot of people say that Chelsea like to create a lot of chances. Look at who are creating chances against Tottenham and them, and we don't see them too much. We don't see them against the bigger teams. We don't see them against the upper teams. But teams against Luton, Morecambe, and all the lower league sides, that's when you see all of our football. So we need to work on our conversion because when push comes to shove and you don't have as many chances, you need someone that can actually score one goal from 2 or 3 chances. We don't have that right now. We really don't. As much as Tammy got that hat-trick today, it's just the result of us creating many, many good chances, which I can't draw negatives from because we created a lot of chances. But you're not going to always get that chance. We really can't always.
Yeah, I understand you. It's just not. It's not going to be a consistent thing where we can create that volume of chances every single game. iTest Merchant here says, could we buy a cheap CDM before the window closes? I mean, do you know what it is again? I'm sure we have the finances to do it. It's not a financial issue for me because, like I said, I feel like the window we just came out of kind of balanced the books in terms of all the money we made in the previous financial year. So I don't think financially it's squad places, man. The squad is too big to bring in another brother because, again, you have to remember, you have to submit a Premier League squad and politics plays a part. It's very hard to say to Jorginho, right, you're not in the Premier League squad. We're going to put you in the under-23s. Do you know what I mean? Or to any of the other midfielders. So you have to get rid before you can recruit. There's too many players in the squad. We've got 3 left backs. I know we got rid of Tomori, but that's really just the start because we still have the squad is still too big. There's too many players on the peripherals that are sitting around thinking, yo, when are we going to get a game? Do you know what I mean? That's where the unrest and all that starts to set in. So unless someone like Jorginho departs, I don't think they'll buy a centre defensive midfield in January, no. And also, as much as I've been saying, yes, we do lack those characteristics in the midfield, Gilmour, is there, Kante is there. We've seen shitter Chelsea squads do more. It's not an excuse for where we are in the league. Maybe it's a reason as to why we can't win or we can't challenge, cool. But it's not an excuse as to why we can't get into the top 4. We can't have a good FA Cup run. I know the squad is lacking certain things, but it's also got a lot of things as well that other teams lack that we have in our favour. So 100%. we need to just, for me, we need to do better with what we have. And we also need to get the best out of the signings that have already come in. And I think that's just how Roman will potentially look at it. He's like, listen, I've bought all of this shit, get that working, and then talk to me about more. Do you know what I mean? Because, do you know what I mean? There's a lot of players here already that we signed over the summer. I understand what you're saying. We do need a holding midfielder. But I think you can strike up a partnership or a defensive structure and get away with it until the end of the season, in my opinion. If you've got your wits about you, do you know what I mean? There's players in there that can contribute defensively. Your Gilmours, your Mounts, Kante. So even under Sarri, we shit a lot of people. I won't do it. A lot of people shit on Jorginho and Kovacic now. Under previous management, that was part of a team that kept, I think, the 3rd best defensive record in the Premier League. So
we've kept Rudiger and them lot in the back. Do you know what I'm saying?
So although these players look awful right now, they can be organised and structured into a defensive structure where you can be better. You can be better than you are. Do you know what I mean? There's other teams in the league that don't have the resources that we have, and they are better than we are defensively. So that's kind of the point I want to make. I don't think it's just continue purchase, and
100%.
don't actually look at fundamental issues in the team.
I want to get to something real quick, and I want to ask you what you think with regards to this, because obviously with this game, this is what happened against Morecambe. I think definitely I'm not going to take anything away from the team because we played better than the way we played against Morecambe, 100%. But the way I'm looking at this, obviously we saw Frank Lampard on the touchline. I don't know if you saw him getting all excited and all gas, talking and pointing in certain directions for people to do stuff. I want to see a lot more of that when we're actually, if we're not winning. Do you know what I mean? He was quite loud on the touchline today, which I mean, I'm not saying you shouldn't be loud when you're winning. I'm not saying you shouldn't be loud when winning, but I want to see a lot more of that. But with the way this game unfolded, would you really say you're confident going into the next set of games? Because right now, I won't say I'm confident, because once again, I'm not really going to get too carried away with the way we actually play. I'm not saying, do you think we're going to go into those games and play with a different style? Are we going to play the way Lampard tried getting us to play today with a different formation and maybe a slight tweak to the number of crosses we make into the box and more vertical passes? Are we going to see any changes in the next game? Or do you think we're just going to go with the same 4-3-3? We're going to see something silly like Kovacic, Mason Mount, and Kai as the midfielders, and we're going to see like maybe Werner, Pulisic, and so on. Do you know what I'm saying? Or what do you think is going to happen moving into the next game? Do you think this has really changed stuff up as much as most people would like it to have done?
Bro, there's no way I'm falling for this shit again. Do you know what I mean? Do you know what I mean? Let's see how they play against Wolves. That will be, you know, the Wolves, Burnley, and Tottenham will be where any confidence for me builds. It won't be from Luton Town. Do you know what I mean? I'm not gonna make any long-term conclusions from this game and say, oh, we're gonna do red-tet, because at the end of the day, when it's all said and done, it was a mid-table championship team. Do you know what I mean? So there's no way I'm going into Wolves. No, I'm not going into Wolves any more confident than I was going into Leicester, because we're playing big boy teams now. Do you know what I mean? It's not Luton Town, it's not Morecambe. So today is another great training exercise. Really good performance from a few players, few individuals that I've pointed out. But if they, you know, let's see after a week, you know, let's see in the next 3 games what this fixture actually means, and then then I'll go back and see if there was anything to take from it. But right now, this team have been too up and down, and more downs, to be fair. So not really any ups, if I'm being honest, because them cup games are meant to be formalities. So there's been too much inconsistency in the team, the application, everything, the tactics, the in-game management, everything, for me to be taking a Luton Town game overly seriously at all. So that's not going to happen. What will be interesting is how we play against Wolves, and if we stick with the same starting 11 and etc. If there's, because one thing that the Morecambe game didn't translate to the Fulham game is there was no consistency in the 11. We just switched it up again, completely switched it up again. So I want to see what this game even means. Was this game a run out for players? Was it a game for Wolves? What was it? I don't know until I see the Wolves team. What on earth? Why on earth did we let Ampadu go out on loan? Yeah, we speak about DM issues, and then we fail to take notice of the fact that we have Ampadu in the squad. I know it's been a difficult time for him at Sheffield United, but again, I point out Harry Kane, difficult time for him at Millwall. That didn't seem to impact him at Tottenham. Do you know what I mean? For me, Ampadu's still a very, very good player. I think he's got fundamentals there that we could use this season. Not starting. Never said that he had to start, but you know, you talk about lack of players in that zone, in the DM area. He could definitely be of use to us coming off the bench if we need to shore up a game or we need to go a bit more defensive. You know, he's got experience in the back three. He's got experience at DM. He's got experience in all defensive areas, really. So I just think fundamentally he's a good footballer. So, yeah, that's another player that potentially could have kept. But we talk about these loanies that have gone out. Again, it's all about squad numbers. And if you can't offload some of the seniors, then you have to loan out your Barclays, your Loftus-Cheeks, your Ampadu. So you can't keep everyone. I think if we did keep everyone, we would have had about 9 midfielders or something mad. So it just wasn't possible. People are always going to get let go. So yeah, do you know what I mean? It's not really any massive surprise. They wanted us to do player ratings. I don't really rate players in terms of out of 10. And I'm not going to lie, against Luton, not really feeling it. Do you know what I mean? I'm not really feeling it. These brothers should all be dispatching Luton like an Amazon package. You know what I mean? It should be.
You know what I mean? First class. I'm saying she's been doing that
the
special.
Standards, baby. The standards. The standards. Don't let the standards drop.
But to be fair, I've just seen something in the comments that we should talk about. We need to talk about Christian Pulisic, fam.
What, the fact that he picked up another knock, or the fact that he's not playing?
I would pick up another knock, and recently, if we deep it properly, I've got to give Bobby this one. He has not been playing well when we actually look at stuff in the grand scheme of things. I don't think he's been playing well. He's been like a passenger, if anything. What are your thoughts?
With Pulisic, right? It's very weird seeing him like this, because he at times in his peak can be hazard esque influence, right?
Yes.
His ceiling is so high, and bar for injuries, you really quality wise, you wouldn't be having too much discussion. But recently, he hasn't been good, and I'm all about meritocracy as well, and that's why I've said personally, I would have taken him out the team for Hudson-Odoi in recent weeks. I know he's been still starting in some of the games, but I would have, you know, I feel like at the moment on merit, he doesn't justify the start. And that's not even a problem, because a lot of people, when you take a player out of starting 11, they take it personally. If they rep them on Twitter, they feel like you're taking that you don't respect the player because he's not in the starting 11. There's different ways to get a player back into form. You can, you know, there's different tactics in terms of man management, the way that you speak to that player, publicly, privately. You know, some players need a cuddle around, you know, an arm around the shoulder. Some players need, you know, a real kick up the arse, and they need, you know, they need a kick up the backside. Some players like Mourinho with Luke Shaw, he would absolutely dismantle him publicly, saying that he almost had to play next to him on the touchline to keep him in position, which I don't think helped Luke Shaw. So, you know, it's all about cultures and dealing with players in different ways to get the best out of them. And when you say on Twitter in particular that you believe a certain player who's not in form should be taken out of the starting 11, people are like, oh, you disrespecting him, you don't respect him. I respect Pulisic more than most. I rep Pulisic more than most. I did Pulisic propaganda hashtag. Do you know what I mean? I rode out for this guy when people were doubting him at the start of last season when he just arrived. I know Pulisic is a quality, world-class potential player. I know that for a fact. However, he's not playing well, and he's playing a run of games and it's not really improving. So maybe, and also fitness-wise as well, he doesn't exactly it doesn't even make sense to play him back-to-back anyway, fitness-wise. Take him out the team, bring him, and I said this about Timo Werner as well. Take him out the team and bring him on off the bench later on in games when maybe defenses are getting a bit more tired. Same with Timo Werner. You might start to see a resurgence in form or a pickup in form. You might start to see them take advantage of tired legs. Then you can get them back into the team that way. It doesn't mean every player must continue to start every single game. And the thing is as well, Timo Werner, I've said this before as well, Timo Werner's goal contributions in recent weeks have come, apart from today, and Morecambe, but they've come later on in games. Remember that Crystal Palace assist, the Newcastle assist? They came later on. So when I was saying as well about taking Timo, Pulisic out of the team, potentially now that Ziyech is fit, Hudson-Odoi is fit, you know, bring them on later on in games, their goal contributions, and they can potentially do a stat padding at the end. Do you know what I mean? That's where they've been impactful. So it's not to disrespect the player. It's just there's different ways of getting a player back into form. And it's not every day start until something ticks. Because as you can see, even though Timo Werner played well today, I wouldn't say he's confident. And I wouldn't say that penalty was confident. I remember the penalties he was taking at the start of the season. He was smashing them.
Everybody was asking for him to stop taking penalties because Jorginho missed
because his penalties are good. Because his technique was strong. He was rifling them into the corner. But that penalty that he was a little bit softer today. It didn't feel like a confident one. I know he won it, and he probably obviously wanted to take it because he wants to get the goal. But it was still not one of those penalties where I look at it and I'm like, yo, that was a real confident penalty. Do you know what I mean? Like, it was one of them ones where I was like,
he even used the same technique. You know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%.
So, started, fam.
Last but not least, son of Chelsea, Daniel, my bro. Last 10 minutes. How you doing, bro?
In the cut, fam.
How are you doing, Daniel? Can you hear us?
I'm doing good. Can you hear me okay? Is it all good?
Yeah, all's good. Final, it's great that you're here because now we get to, you know,
I can hear you. Can you hear
thoughts on the game as well. What did you make of the match? Because obviously we had some standout performances. Yeah, we had some good. Oh, he's coming back up. All right,
mine was on that KFC thing. You know what I mean?
My Wi-Fi issues were stronger, so my Wi-Fi issues were mad. So he's gonna come back in and hopefully it's not too bad. But I thought it was quite funny to start the stream with just your head on the screen as well. I'm not gonna lie,
that was good. I was actually confused. I was like, "What's going on, fam?" I thought
I wasn't even in the background.
Wait, fam! I saw the thing. I looked up. I saw it was live, and I'm like, "Yo, what's Matisse doing, fam? Man is on the wind up." Oh my god! But I held it down. Obviously, man's got the thing. Oh,
what are these men saying in the chat? Wi-Fi, yo, don't disrespect the Tesco Wi-Fi. You know, it can be strong. Do you know what I mean? If you get past the first line of security, it's not too bad. I've worked in Tesco before. I don't know if you man remember them old school Twitter videos where I had the fleece, but I've worked in Tesco before. The Wi-Fi is not too bad. So you know what I mean? I don't know about KFC though.
I saw you work at Sainsbury's, fam. Did you not work at Sainsbury's? Was it not Sainsbury's?
I've done my run.
Yeah, you've done them both, innit? You've done them both, innit?
Yeah, I've done my run. There we go. How's it sounding now, Daniel? I don't think. Nah. How's it sound?
How about now? Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, we can hear you. Yeah. Is your video still processing? Is that maybe why?
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yeah, he's better now. Yeah, he's much better now. You were looking like
you. Can you hear us? No, I don't think you can hear us. But yeah, we're already.
I was looking like a Minecraft character. You understand what pixels from? Jesus is Lord. That was not even good, fam. I think his YouTube video probably processing or something like that. Probably.
These brothers are coming for me in the comments about borrowing neighbors' Wi-Fi. Listen, yeah. Nobody's borrowing anybody's Wi-Fi. We're just in the countryside. And it's a little bit ropey. Do you know what I mean? It's a little bit ropey, I can't lie. But we will be back in London soon, and touch wood, things will improve. Dammy, what's your final thoughts? We're gonna wrap up soon anyway. Last 5 minutes. What's your final thoughts on the game going into Wolves? Are you confident? Are you confident going into Wolves?
The thing is, I can't lie to you. Much like you, I built my whole thing of positivity. I enjoy being positive. I'm a lot funnier when I'm positive. I can bring more energy when I'm positive. But I don't just want to be Oh, he's gone again. I don't want one of them. Man just keeps on popping in and out, fam. You understand? Man keeps on doing that. You know them ones where you go to the carnival and the things come down.
We'll have to give up. Daniel said his internet's doing a madness, so we're gonna have to save Daniel until next time. But yeah, carry on, Dammy.
But yeah, like I said, innit, at the end of the day, for me, the way things are right now, I'm trying my absolute hardest not to get carried away. Because once again, I don't want to sit down here and start breaking down some of the errors I saw in today's game with Matisse, because people are going to come at me, telling me that, negativity, and I don't really have energy for that. Do you understand? I don't really have that sort of time. Because once again, I want to celebrate the wins, but moving it against Wolves, fam. Wolves are a team in distraught right now. They are going to be clawing for their lives. Nuno is his job. Everybody's calling for him to get sacked. Do you understand? So this is pretty much two managers.
Are they actually calling for him to be sacked?
Yep. They are literally calling some of the Wolves fans. I didn't even know Wolves had Wolves FT, fam. Do you know what I'm saying? I saw some Wolves Avis and shit. It was very mad. A Portuguese team. Fam, I saw Nuno Avis. It was ridiculous. But
they put the Portuguese on their side. So I think Wolves FT would actually be quite big, isn't it? You got to mix it like Benfica.
Exactly. Them lot, you know what I mean? Them lot is mad, fam. But once again, it's one of them things where I'm just like, you know what? I don't really get too excited going into the game. I really don't, because we saw what happened with Morecambe and them, man. Do you understand? Damn it, be negative. But at the end of the day, like, it's one of those things where I'm not too sure going into that game. I would like us to win, obviously, because once again, if the club are going to stick to Frank Lampard, then all we can do is really back him. Obviously, I'm not going to sit here and tell you that every game was played well, and I'm not going to try and break down games like some pseudo analysts that watch games back and feel like they're the next best thing. I'm not going to do that for you. Do you understand? I know I wasn't taking shots at a specific person, Luki. But at the end of the day, like, the way things are currently moving at the moment, I'm not really still confident going into Wolves. Like Messi said, I'm still keeping the exact same energy. I'll only be able to tell you how I feel after we've played against Burnley. And that's because, once again, I'd like to see how we play and prepare for that Tottenham game. Because after that Tottenham game, we've got like one or two more relatively easy games. And I mean, nothing is ever easy with Chelsea FC. But after that, we're going into hellfire, fam. Do you know what I mean? We're going into the trenches. We're going into World War II, World War III, fam. That's what we're going. You've got Atletico Madrid twice. You've got all these. You understand? We've got Atletico Madrid. You've got Southampton. You've got what? You've got United. You've got Everton. You've got Leeds. You've got Liverpool. You've got too many man scattered around the shop. So that period is when we're going to be able to break. Or hey, man is actually in the cut now.
I'm not giving up. I'm not giving up on this stream, man. I'm having to use my phone now, so that's where I'm at now. So I'm doing it. My internet's doing a Kepa today. Trying to put this up. So I'm in.
You are on your Minecraft thing before, you know what I'm saying? Man is vlogging. Welcome back to my vlog, guys. You know what I'm saying? Oh, yeah. But yeah,
yeah. Let's get Daniel's final thoughts. Obviously, last 5 minutes, but I want to get your take on the game, because we had some good performances, we had some standout performances, but at the same time, obviously, a lot of people say put it into context. We did the same with Morecambe, and we didn't really improve in the Premier League game. So, what's your takeaway really from the game?
I think at the moment you just got to be positive. Just seeing Chelsea win a game of football, and I think that the two big things to me today was, once again, young players being at the heart of the best moments under Lampard. It's a persistent thing, and these are the players that are bailing us out, in difficult moments. The likes of Mason, captains, and on the likes of Callum Hudson-Odoi off the bench. Billy Gilmour, I thought, was absolutely flawless today. I'm hearing some concerning quotes from Lampard about him going out on loan. I don't know if that's just because he's been probed about loan. The idea that there's even a consideration for him going out on loan. This guy should be playing on Wednesday against Wolves. He is offering us everything that we lack in midfield. What I love about Billy is he's not only playing those daring passes. There was a few times in the game where he wants to play that daring pass that a player like Jorginho just isn't offering us, or Kovacic doesn't offer us, or anyone in that midfield. I look at Billy like I did last season, and I think he could be the answer for Lampard, even for a short term. And I don't understand if I don't see Billy Gilmour's name in that starting lineup on Wednesday, I think, Frank's creating a rock for his own back, basically. I know you can caveat everything today, but it was that, and also trying to get some fluidity and sharpness back into this attack. I always felt that he was going to make more, sort of rotate more in the back than he would up front, because I felt he was going to try and get some fluidity back in there. And I actually think it worked. I think having Ziyech and Reece back in the team starting together for the first time since Leeds was massive. Having Tammy, who I think has been brilliant this season, really, when you look at it, he's never been the main forward, but he's now Chelsea's top goal scorer. I felt so sorry for Timo, because I actually think his all-round game was pretty good today. I think Frank's decision to try and get Timo more central, I actually think could be the best way of utilising him, not shifting him out wide. Because I don't think playing him just as, I know you've said this, Matisse, before, that he's not really a number 9 for at least for the English game, but he's not a left winger. So you're trying to get him into the role he played for Leipzig, and that may be the best way of going about it, especially if you have Callum on the left as well. And I thought Callum was exceptional off the bench once again. He needs to now replicate that form in the Premier League, and hopefully, I think he should be starting on the left. Frank trying him on the left instead of the right may be the way to go about it against Wolves. So you've got to be positive, man. Just I don't want to be doom and gloom and say, oh, it's Luton, it doesn't matter. There were some exciting moments. I just hope that it can add some belief. And as well, I just want to give a shout out to Kepa, because obviously he made a terrible mistake in the first half, but he makes the big save. And that if that's 2-2, the game radically changes. So in the sense, we got to give credit. If we're going to criticize Kepa rightly for the first goal, you've got to give him credit for making that big save, one-hand save at a key moment in the game. And all round, I think there were exciting moments today. The best I've seen Chelsea attack in any game since Leeds. I haven't, even against West Ham, we weren't happy, were we? So hopefully now against Wolves and Burnley, 2 critical games for Chelsea, we turn up.
Fantastic. Well, final super chat as well before we wrap up, because I do have to go at half to do the byline people. What did you think of today's formation? I thought it was good. I thought, again, I was very excited to see Mount and Gilmour together. That was my main thing when I saw the starting 11. I was really excited for in terms of longevity. Talk about short-term solutions as well. Obviously, people are saying, potentially, can we bring in a DM? I don't think until the squad numbers are down in terms of Jorginho going that you'll see a DM come in, because it's not about finances. It's just about there's too many players in the squad, and you can't submit a Premier League squad and say to Jorginho, you're going to be in the under 23s or something, or to any of the other senior players. It's just that simply won't work. So, in terms of incomings, I wouldn't expect a DM to come in, but Billy Gilmour is someone that you can utilize in that area that can help you out in that part of the field, on the ball and off the ball. He's a very mobile, tenacious player. So, I thought today's formation, it did get the best out of Werner. And I think Werner plays better when he's with Tammy together. We've seen that now a lot this season as well. So that's something to note down as well. Whether I'd start him against Wolves, I'm not sure, because I do like Hakim Ziyech and Reece combining. I do like Hudson-Odoi. And I think Tammy, after you score a hat-trick, it would almost be wild to take him out of the team, do you know what I mean, against Wolves when you're on that kind of confidence. So, people, like I said, we'll see the value of this fixture in the coming games after this week. After Wolves and Burnley, we'll see how valuable this fixture was. But it's good to get a break, and it's good to get a win, do you know what I mean? It's good to be in the next round of the FA Cup. If one thing I've always been saying is this team needs is a trophy. I think they've really galvanised the squad. We missed out on that last year against Arsenal, who are now out of the competition. So hopefully we can get that. And any last words, Dammy?
Arsenal tears are sweet. That's all I can say. Losing out of the competition. The thing your manager are using to start pad, or you don't know what Frank's tricky blicks are going to. Don't clip me, please. Once again, I mean, there's not too much more for me to say. At the end of the day, I'm happy we've won the game. I am trying my best. I'm going to stay positive-ish, but I'm not going to get carried away. Once again, that's what happened against Morecambe. I'm not trying to get carried away, because once again, Wolves are fighting for their lives. Nuno is fighting for his job. Wolves are fighting for their lives. And we know what, like I think, you might know why I called them, innit? Chelsea's I keep forgetting his name. Robin Hood FC, blood. You know what I'm saying? Robin Hood FC steal from themselves and give to the poor FC. You know what I'm saying? FC, that's what Chelsea is, fam. So I'm not trying to go into that Wolves game and get all gassed up. I hope Frank Lampard doesn't change stuff up too much. Let's see if he actually does too many changes, because one thing that he has been doing has been messing stuff up quite a bit recently, and the fact that he's changed stuff up. But other than that, I don't really know. I don't have anything else to say other than obviously, you know, your boy the Grand Dam man is trying to survive out on these streets. You understand? I'm not trying to go on that London Bridge. I spent so much money on equipment and all of that. So if you haven't already watched the video I've put out today, best believe to go check that out at the Grand Dam. And obviously twitter.com. I don't really care that much. Just go subscribe, and we'll be coming through for a live stream tomorrow and throughout the rest of the week. But other than that, big up to the man them watching, big up to Matisse, big up to Dan for vlogging on the thing. So yeah, keep it live and real.
100%. And make sure you go subscribe to Dammy and Son of Chelsea, bro. Daniel, final words as well from you, bro.
Man is playing the mannequin challenge. You understand?
Alex is gonna go mad because he's got Neil Robinson as well. So he's gonna go mad if I do not go on that stream today on time. So people, make sure you go subscribe to Dan as well, Son of Chelsea.
Take a picture. All right.
And people, I will see you tomorrow for another stream. Like I said, yesterday we took the day off because it's been wild at the moment in terms of we were doing the daily madness. But like I said, we're back tomorrow, and then we've got the weekly shows coming up as well this week, as well as the game against Wolves. I will see you in a bit, people.
In a bit, boss. In a bit. Intro thing, fam. Intro thing. You know what I'm saying?
Run that.
Run it.